Hi garden family, welcome back to the Latina Garden. Ellie here. I am so excited today because we're diving into 4 of my favorite warm weather crops. The Cubanelle sweet pepper, the Genovese basil, the Chinese long beans, and the Gagootz squash. These grow beautifully in Zone 9 and bring flavor, nutrition, and nostalgia to the garden and the kitchen. So stick around for growing tips, harvest tricks, and how to keep pests away without chemicals. Let's dig in.
So, let's go pepper. I'm going to try the Gagootz there. Over here.
Okay.
I want to know Gagootz. Oh yeah, Gagootz here, green beans there. Or, I guess I can pull them out.
First up, the Cubanelle pepper. It is a staple in Latin kitchens. They're sweet, mild, and perfect for frying or stuffing. Here's how you can grow them. If you'd like to start them from seed indoors, you can start them indoors about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. For my Zone 9, that would be late January to early February. Warmth is key. They love warm soil, so transplant them when nighttime temperatures stay above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. We decided to start ours from seedlings that we got from Home Depot. For spacing, you want to space them about 18 to 24 inches apart. They don't like crowding. You want them to be in full sun and rich, well-draining soil with some compost or warm castings. For support, I would recommend to use a small cage or you can stake them. The peppers can get pretty heavy. You want to water deeply once to twice a week. Avoid overhead watering to prevent fungal diseases. A harvesting tip would be pick them when they're light green and about 6 inches long. That's the peak flavor stage. Now let's talk basil, specifically the Genovese. This is the queen of all basil types in my garden. Perfect for pesto, crepisi salads, and much more. If you want to start them from seed, you can direct sow them, or you can have them as transplants. You can direct sow once the soil is warm, or start indoors and then transplant them out. They do not like to be in cold weather. We like to start ours as starts already that we get from Home Depot. For spacing, you want to space them about 10 to 12 inches apart. They grow bushy with good airflow. They like to be in full sun, at least 6 hours. You want rich, loamy soil with lots of organic matter. If you pinch them often, once it hits about 6 inches tall, you can start pinching off the top leaves. This will help for the plant to branch out and stay more tender. You want to plant it near tomatoes and peppers. This will help boost the flavor and repel the pests. And a harvest tip, don't pull the whole stem. Pinch just above a leaf node and it will help to keep it growing. And as always, you want to harvest before it flowers, unless you want it to save for seed or you want to feed the bees. Next up, we have the fun and fabulous Chinese long bean. This is also called a yard long bean, or as my kids like to refer it as, green spaghetti. They are so delicious, and it should speak volumes if this is a vegetable that my kids will eat. So they are super productive and love the summer heat, especially in my Zone 9. This is something that is best if you direct sow them. They don't really like to be transplanted, so we direct sow once the soil is consistently warm. Usually you can start anywhere between late March through April, even May here in Zone 9. You want to make sure that you put it on a trellis. They are climbers, so give them a strong trellis or a fence or poles to grow up on. For spacing, you want to sow about 4 inches apart, then you can thin to 8 inches once they've sprouted. For watering, you want to make sure you keep your soil moist but not soggy. If you mulch, this will help to hold in the moisture, especially with the summer heat. As a harvest tip, you want to pick them when they're about 12 to 18 inches long. If you wait too long, they can get stringy. As a bonus, they're more pest resistant than regular beans, and they're great for stir fries. Last but not least is the famous Gagootz or Cucuzza. It's an Italian squash that grows like a vine on steroids. This has been in my husband's family for many years. His Italian grandfather would grow it every year in his garden, and my husband has continued the tradition ever since. You can start indoors or you can direct sow. We usually like to direct sow ours, usually in May after we've taken out the garlic. You want to train the vine up a sturdy trellis to save space, and this will also help to improve the airflow. You can also let it just sprawl out on the ground, kind of like a zucchini, if you've got the room for it. Unfortunately, we don't have the space, so this year we are trellising it up our arched trellis. Ideally, you also want to space your plants about 3 feet apart because they get so huge. For us, because we are working with older seeds, not all of them will sprout, so we kind of go thicker on the seeds that we plant, and then we can thin them out later. Your Gagootz needs full sun and fertile soil. You want to add compost before planting. For watering, you want to water deeply, and you should mulch to retain the moisture. A harvesting tip, you want to pick them young, around 1.5 to 2 feet long. While the skin is still tender, if you wait too long, they get hard. And then it's kind of like a gourd, and then you can treat it as such. Gagootz is so fun to grow and even more fun to cook. You want to think of like stews or soups. You can have it sauteed with garlic, or you can even have it breaded and fried. My husband likes to cook the Gagootz in 2 ways. One is like an old Italian recipe family. It's been passed down through the family, and it is a stew cooked with other vegetables and with some venison as the protein. And the other way is he likes to use it kind of like a stuffed zucchini, in a sense, where you have like a long boat, you clean out the center, and then you stuff it with like ground beef. So there you have it, 4 incredible heat-loving plants for your summer garden. The Cubanelle sweet pepper, the Genovese basil, Chinese long beans, and Gagootz squash. Each one brings flavor, beauty, and a touch of culture to your backyard. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with your garden friends. Let me know in the comments which one you're excited to grow, or if you have a tip I should try. Sow love, grow joy, and stay rooted. I'll see you next time in the Latina Garden. Bye, friends.